Hello, welcome to the Live Reality Games podcast. Here to talk about Survivor BC, the Golden Age, the newest season of Survivor BC that is airing live right now on Facebook. And in fact, we're kind of in a little purgatory right now because we're in the hours right before the next tribal council. So, what better to kill time than talk about everything that's happened the past 3 days? So, my name is Steven. I helped design a bit of the season and I played on season 6, didn't do great. With me today is Lydia. Lydia played in the most recent Reelfoot season. How are you doing, Lydia?
Great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Tell me what who are you rooting for right now in this season?
Oh, well, like first and foremost, I'm rooting for William. He's my
Mhm.
guy. I have known William for like a few years, played orgs with him, so I definitely have to root for him.
Okay. And speak of the devil, right as we start this, the travel council will be when he first starts too. So we will multitask through it. It'll be fun. But I'm not only here with Lydia today. I'm here with the one, the only David Walsh, the man, the myth, the legend from Survivor BC Rock Rain Valley. David, how are you doing?
Good, Steven. How you doing?
I'm doing well. Let's just jump into it. David, there's a player on this season that we both played with, Taylor St. Louis. Tell me your thoughts about seeing her on this season.
So I didn't get to watch Taylor play. I just got to play with Taylor, so it's different watching her play.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's a lot of talk right now about her having this power position because she seems to be the name that's coming up a lot when people are asked, who do you feel close to, rank your teammates in order. She's pretty high on the list. So I think that will be good for right now. But I think when we get to emerge, especially with the advantages she just got, I think she's going to be a big
Mm-hmm.
target at the merge. So she could be a first boot at the merge.
Well, so right now, it, it's such a hard situation, right? Because like getting immunity, like this could take her straight to merge, but like it puts such a big target. She's a returning player. She came in second place. She's now got her fast pass to the merge. Would you have done that? Would you have done something differently, David?
Um, it's hard to say when you're not playing, but I think I probably would have done a little bit less than she's doing, especially the first challenge. She was holding those boxes. She was the only one, if I recall correctly, that lied
Mm-hmm.
during that challenge. And I think that already put a big target on a big target. And
Mm-hmm.
now she has an even bigger target. The problem is, Stephen, that these people that she's playing with have to realize that she's a big target, and they also have to strike. I am not really seeing too much of that right now. I'm not seeing these players step up and do that. So I don't know if they're just waiting because they can't do it yet, or if they're just not bold enough.
Well, so I'd love to hear your two thoughts. So this season's a very interesting mix of new players and returning players, right? We have 10 brand new players. We have 6 returnee players. The returnee players kind of come from a mixed bag. 4 of them actually come from last year's season, season 7. Lydia, what would be your approach to this game as a new player or as a returning player?
Honestly, if I was a new player and there were returning players, I would want the returning players out, like as soon as possible, which
Mm-hmm.
it seems like that might be the route that Blue was taking. Um, I guess we'll know pretty soon if they're going to continue that route, but yeah, that would be my thing. But it seems like the returning players, especially on Red, have really just worked in well socially with the newbie players, and I just don't think that the newbie players are maybe thinking as hard yet as the returning players already are.
David, what about yourself? So if you were a new player, what would you be doing? And then if, let's say, you yourself was on the season, substitute one of the guys, you are there in Canada, you have stolen your way over the border, the Mounties haven't caught you, you are playing the season. Would you be working with these other returning players, or would you be working the new players? What would your strategy have been?
You know, Stephen, it's hard to say because I feel like you need to evaluate that when you get there. I don't like to base my game on anything pre-existing, so I would have to base it on my new relationships when I get into the game. So I think certain people are doing really well with that, and others are not. There's this kumbaya feeling in the red group But
Can't pronounce
the
the
problem
names.
with the Red Tribe, in my opinion, and a Kumbaya vibe is that, like Boston Rob, the season that he won, I felt like there was a lot of Kumbaya with his tribe. And to me, that says that there's one person that is leading that tribe and the rest are being silent. To me, that's what Kumbaya means. So who is that person? And do you agree?
Well, I have a name that comes to the tip of my tongue. Lydia, do you have a name?
Yeah, I'm thinking Jamie.
That's who
Really?
I'm thinking too.
Okay.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
seems really like at the center of
Mm-hmm.
everything. Like he
Yeah,
seems to have a lot of pull.
right.
Because, like, I guess it makes sense because I was going to say I think TSL might be the center, but I keep getting these inklings of like, TSL's kind of power coupling with Braden. There you go, Braden S. And I think people are kind of seeing that and being worried about that. But I'll give it to you. I do think Jamie might be in the very best position on his tribe.
For sure. I think he's positioned himself really well. And TSL has too, but like we said earlier, she has such a big target on her back coming into the game, and then she even painted a bigger one. So can she take that away? Can she, can she make it all the way?
Well, let's pretend you're both Taylor St. Louis right now. You're at the final 13, about to be final 12, right? You have double immunity, right? So you can potentially get the merged immunity. Are you looking to play a crazy chaotic game, flipping back and forth? Or are you looking to try to hold this original red tribe together and go strong?
If I was her, I would be trying to hold it together for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would be wanting to make my visibility even more than it already is.
David?
You know, with that type of power, I might try a few things. So I'd be trying to knock out some of those players that I don't want anymore around if I was TSL. Her target's so big right now, roll with it. I mean, I don't think it's I think it would be fun to see her go after players that she wants out. So that's what I would do.
Well, so the Red Tribe has gone to two tribal councils, right? We had Evelyn go out first, and then we had CJ go out second. It really felt for the Evelyn vote, that was kind of a sign, sealed, and delivered tribal council. Evelyn's just like, I think I'm through, right? I mean, David, you and I, when we played, we had sleeping bags. I remember your sleeping bag wasn't that great.
No.
And you did not have great experiences that night out in Canada. Is that true?
Yeah, it was I was roughing it for sure.
Yeah.
I was trying to cuddle up next to you, Steven,
So, like, what do you think your experience would have been like when you played if you didn't have your sleeping bag the first night?
Oh man, well, I wouldn't have been able to give Noah my blanket, so that would have been, brutal. I can't imagine that actually, because we got cold at night and we really relied on those sleeping bags. So yeah, that must be really hard.
Lydia, when you played in Reelfoot, there were no sleeping bags, but granted,
No.
You weren't in Canada, so it wasn't getting as cold night, but still gets cold.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few pretty cold nights that it got down to like 50, and that was after the night it rained. So I mean, we were like wet, and it's like 50 degrees. And no, I didn't have a sleeping bag. I didn't even have a sweatshirt or anything. I just had a t-shirt, but we made it through.
That's rough.
Well, it's one of the reasons why I do love Survivor BC, because I had my sleeping bag out there when I played, and I slept great.
That would be awesome.
I was in the game. With the CJ votes, talk me through. Is there anything that you think CJ could have done at this point in the game for himself?
I think he didn't form strong enough alliances. I think his social game was lacking. Yeah, I think that early on, you want to try to form those bonds, and I didn't see that with CJ. So I saw this coming.
Lydia?
Yeah, I saw that majority kind of formed really quickly. So I think he just, was just behind and missed out on it. He did say in one of his confessionals that he was trying not to overplay too quickly, and that he was kind of trying to let the strategic talk kind of happen organically. And I think that especially with the returning players coming back in, because I think that they had the game turned on like right out, day one. So I think it was just like a combination of being a newer player and not wanting to overplay, but kind of got left behind a little.
Well, because I feel like I've made a similar mistake my season where like you kind of get there and it's that first night you're like, okay, we're getting to know each other, and you can see players on that red tribe really capitalize that. And when I played, I don't think I did that. David, were you? I feel like you were more active that very first night when you were playing.
Definitely. I mean, as soon as I got to the mat, I feel like, we introduced ourselves and instantly there was a connection with Kristen. Her and I just hit it off. I think we didn't even say like 2 words to each other, and it was like a hello, and that was that. Same with pretty much Lexi. Her and I bonded really fast, and then Aleem. So that bonding happened super fast. Lindsay, not as fast, because her and Chris were very tight. And then Stacy, yeah, I feel like I bonded well with her. Unfortunately, Noah was on the outs. Kind of reminded me of like a CJ in a way, because he didn't really find his way fast enough.
Noah also helped himself out the door, if I remember correctly, by very
That's true.
vocally naming who he wanted to vote out and when. So
That's true. Yes, he did that.
Do you all have any other thoughts about this tribe's dynamics? Because for me, like, it seemed like you had Kevin and Andrew. You have a pair there. You had the Jamie Taylor Braid in the middle, and then you kind of had Will and CJ on the outs. And it was kind of like, which duo do I want to roll with? And Taylor and co stuck with the other returnees.
Yeah, I feel like right now Taylor is kind of in a swing position almost, where I don't think she's sure if she wants to go with the Kevin Andrew side or the Will side.
She seems super close with Brayden, so I think that whatever, the two of them decide, they'll do it together. But when there's a swap, that will be interesting. If there's a swap, it'll be interesting to see how Taylor navigates that, because we saw what happened our season. So,
well, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Blue Tribe. I think they're starting to vote right now, so I'll kind of like be keeping an eye on the screen and kind of say, and kind of give you like a live reaction as they're showing the votes, because I have no idea what's their dynamics right now. But we have this wild tribal council night 1, right? There's 3 returnees in this tribe. We have Stevie, we have Jen, and we have, oh gosh, why can't I remember? Stevie, Jen, and person who will never forget me, Austin. How can I forget Austin?
Oh, Austin, okay.
Yeah, Chaos Austin. We have these 3 returnees, and somehow we end up with a 4-3-1, and Stevie goes home, which kind of blew my mind, because I thought that would be the possible wildest outcome. What were your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I did not expect Stevie to go. From what I saw, which, we get clips, but what I saw was that he was in a good spot, and out of those returning players, I would say he was least likely on my mind to go home.
Lydia?
Yeah, I was really surprised actually too, and especially with the vote count. And I think it was Austin that kind of threw the vote on Joanna, and I'm not sure what.
So apparently,
that was about.
He promised never to write Stevie's name down, so that's why he threw the vote. But man, like, there's a world where that bites him.
I thought he knew it was Stevie or I thought originally that he voted for Stevie, because then he was in a conversation with Jen and explaining to her why they did what they did.
Okay. Jess just voted for David. So that's vote number 1 in this in this current tribal council that's happening as we podcast right now.
Nice.
So
I like her a lot. From what I've seen so far, I feel like she's playing a very strategic game. So I'm rooting for her. I don't know your thoughts. I haven't seen probably as much as you have, but she seems to be doing a really good job strategically.
It's been light on confessional so far. She's had a short one, but she's like, I wanted Stevie out. I saw him as a glue holding people together. I want him gone so I can pick up the people and kind of manage things myself. And I was like, that seems really smart and deliberate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of thought she was maybe behind that Stevie vote.
Yeah, is it her or is it Austin though, or is it a combination of the two?
I mean, we can chalk some points up to both of them.
Okay.
Austin is currently checking for idols around the tribal council, around the voting booth, because like one idol's not alone. In fact, why don't we talk about that right now, right? So one of the twists this season is the Island of the Ages, a little bit like last season, but this time we have two players coming to this island and engaging in something that's happening. One of the things we see is the return of the Prisoner's Dilemma idol, and we see Braden S versus Austin, and Austin, who just cast a vote for also David. Austin ends up stealing the idol and leaving Braden S with no vote.
Saw that coming.
Like, imagine if you're playing this. Would you split, or what would you do in the split or steal situation for an idol?
I would steal.
Really?
Yes, 100%. I was like screaming at my phone, Braden, steal, because I knew that Austin was gonna do that. Because when I saw them making an agreement, and I was like, he's not gonna make an agreement.
Steven, you don't even need to ask me.
Well, that's quite amazing because in 2 seasons now we've seen one player split, another person steal, and it's just like, and one person just gets totally hosed in the process, and it's just kind of like, wow, it's
Yeah.
For me, like, this is such a situation you can really build trust and like create something going forward that can really help you. And I guess an idol is just too much of a temptation, really.
Yeah, or you could take power and use it, which, you know, at a swap, hey, that's gonna come in handy.
Joanna just cast a vote for David, so 3 votes David.
Oh, poor David.
So my favorite thing about this is not only does Austin get the idol, he then just sells Braden a huge lie.
Yes, and they took it and they bought it.
And he's like, sorry, Braden, I need this idol. They're ganging up against the returnees. That's why they voted Stevie out. I'm next. I'm taking this. I'm pocketing it. And Braden believes them. And so does his tribe.
Yeah.
It like blew my mind that out of how many of them are there? 7 of them
7
now over there.
It's gonna be 6 because
6 now because CJ,
Jen
but
voted for
CJ
David.
was there. That out of all of them, not one of them seemed to question it. Like
No.
nobody said, "Wait, well, he's probably selling us a lie." Like no one. It just seemed like they all accepted it.
Yeah, that tells me people didn't do their homework either. You know, like, come on.
I mean, because Austin in season 5, kind of when he's in the minority, just kind of lets loose, destroys the food, destroys the water. He gets voted out for it, but he kind of embodies a level of like chaos. I think someone in Dungeons and Dragons is calling like chaotically evil in his play style.
Mm-hmm. Well, we see that a little bit or a lot of it with Braden too on that tribe. I feel like he's super chaotic. He was on Sequester, and I remember that was also part of his whole character there. So I'm not surprised by it, but the two of them together could really cause some chaos, you know? And I think that'd be interesting and fun to see because we all love a little chaos.
Now, in one of the earlier visits to the Island of Idols, Island of the Ages, we see what's a disadvantaged bidding war, where 2 players, Joanne and William in this case, both have opportunity to bid disadvantages to take an advantage. Now, this advantage ends up being a legacy mutiny advantage. Imagine you're there in one of their places bidding. How high would you bid for an advantage like that? The ability to mutiny to another tribe.
I honestly don't think I would bid high at all. I don't think I would even want to take it.
Why?
Especially with having to take all the disadvantages too, because I don't know. I don't have that much trust.
Yeah. I would gamble and go for it. But yeah, I mean, it's once again, like, it depends on your position in the game too. So really it depends on where I was and who I was playing with. It's hard to say when you're not in the game.
So you actually approve of what William did then? Because William ends up bidding very high, essentially. And,
yeah.
Like,
I mean, I don't know. I guess, sure, I approve of it, but it was probably not the best decision. No.
I mean, it really all hinged on Evelyn making it to tribal and asking to be voted out.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, he bet on there being an easy first boot, and he was correct because he accepted. I love this. He let the other tribe determine what he did in an immunity challenge. He made all idols null against him. He would lose any tie. He would have to draw a second rock. He lost strategism with his tribe, so he was marooned in exile essentially until tribal council. He took 2 extra penalty votes, and he couldn't vote himself. So he took 7 different disadvantages for that mutiny advantage, and he survived.
Yeah.
I really think it did endear him to his tribe a little bit. Like, I think they're buying that a little bit with him saying he did it for them to keep them intact and just to keep them really united.
I mean,
yeah. I mean, do you see any like big strategic players? Because I feel like going based on what Lydia just said, like if you're in that game, Steven or Lydia, do you buy what he's telling you? Or do you say, you know, to yourself or to your alliance, like this is not really what he's doing, you know?
I think I'm always gonna be a little skeptical of it, right? Especially like a mutiny advantage, because if it was just like I can jump ship and you're like, okay, you know, like as long as I'm on the majority alliance, he can join me in that, and versus he's gonna ban me to dive. Instead, it's kind of like he jumps ship and someone joins him, joins his tribe he just left. So things, it doesn't seem like it's an advantage can be used very well in for tribal lines. It seems to be a very selfish personal advantage, and I guess he's trying to sell it like I want to stop the other team from having it. I want to stop them from kidnapping Evelyn, and so that
I don't know.
But he survived a second vote, right? He survived a second vote. He was not voted out. He caught a vote when CJ went home, but CJ went home instead of him, so he must have some sort of tribe or trust or endearment or alliance that's going with these players.
Seems like he does, at least more than CJ did. So.
All right, so Jaira is going to read the votes, and Austin is standing up. I'll let you know if he. Oh no, he's sitting back down. Okay, so I don't think we're going to see an idol play. So speaking of idols, there are 3 idols in the game currently. Austin has the idol from the Island of Ages. Braden S has the Red Tribe idol, and Brandon has the Blue Tribe idol. What do you think we should expect some crazy moves from these players?
Yes. Especially, I feel like Austin. Well, you have to fill me in here. Who knows about each idol? I know everybody knows about Austin's.
Every person in the game knows about Austin's.
Okay.
Braden S hasn't told anyone. I don't know about Brandon. I'm assuming no one does.
Braden hasn't told Taylor. Okay. I like that. I respect that. Yeah. So we could see something crazy with that for sure. I think Austin has different options here. He can use this idol as power. I mean, he has an idol because they're talking about maybe blindsiding him with the idol, but if he keeps threatening to use it, will they ever actually do that?
Right.
Or he could also say, hey, I want to use this on you, and maybe they'll buy that too. So you can use the idol in a lot of different ways. If everybody knows. If nobody knows, then you can also use it in a lot of ways. But I feel like, is Braden a good enough player to make a good move with that idol? Because we've seen some amateur moves from him already. And then who's the third person?
Brandon.
I
don't know too much about his gameplay yet.
We haven't, unfortunately, I'm checking the...
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton from the Blue Tribe. As far as strategy.
I'm hoping that we can get more from them that will hopefully get a competition too. David just got voted out from the Blue Tribe. It's unfortunately the Blue Tribe. It's hard to really know their dynamics, understand why David got voted out. But essentially, we just got our 3 players who are going to be in the battle back. We have Stevie from the Blue Tribe, CJ from the Red Tribe, and David from the Blue Tribe. I don't know what this challenge is going to be. Of those 3 guys, who do you think? Who do you want to see come back in the game?
I want to see CJ back. I really like CJ. I was sad to see him go because I just wish that those newbies could have like flipped it on a returnee or something. But I feel like if he comes back and there's a swap, that he would have a decent chance to kind of work in better than he did the first time.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to see a merge that's really wild. And so I'm trying to think of the player that would cause that. Because here's the thing. You had Evelyn who left and really like helps that tribe bond, because when you have a player that just kind of gives up, there's really no strategizing necessary. So they had that kumbaya going a lot there. They also have, so Stevie comes back. He really wants to get revenge on the people on his tribe. You have David who comes back who wants to really get revenge on his tribe. So it's two people on the blue tribe. CJ doesn't really have that much bad blood with the red, even though they kicked him out. So I don't know. Red's in a really good position is my point. And it'd be fun to see whoever's going to take the strike at red come back. And I feel like that would be CJ maybe.
Yeah, because I agree that like Stevie or David might go to the red, say, "Hey, the blues are dead to me. Let's break them up." And I think the alliance, the stronger alliance we see forming there, might just grab them and run. So
yeah, I mean Stevie was close with Jenny, right?
Yeah. Because Stevie has the season 7 connection, and then I'm sure he knows Taylor as well, and then he knows Kevin, right? He voted out Kevin. I don't know if Kevin holds it against him, but he knows Kevin was on the tribe with them. He has those returnee connections he can probably exploit more.
Right.
Yeah, Taylor and Stevie did talk at the first Island of Ages about working together. Okay.
I feel like David is going to be really upset, which could be fun to see him come back really upset. So maybe I want to see David come back.
Let's see. They're talking to David right now, but like I have it muted, so I'll watch it later.
Oh, he has to make a decision too, right? If he wants to participate.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he's going to play.
Yeah.
No, I'm sure.
I'm in the Google spreadsheet I'm filling out for the season. I've assumed he's playing. I already have him the battle back category there, so
yeah.
So let's talk about hypothetical swaps occurring, right? If there is a swap, what do you think would be the most fun swap that you can imagine happening?
Well, it's not going to be an even number, right? Because one is coming back.
Yeah.
So if they swap right after that, then that would be weird. I don't know what would happen because it'd be odd. But then if they swap another round, I think the most interesting would be like an even number of blue and red on each. That would be the most interesting outcome.
I agree, because I feel like that made our season really interesting. That swap where it was very even. So I think that would be interesting. What else? I mean, all these idols we have to take into account too. I feel like it'd be fun to have maybe all the idols on one tribe.
Oh my god! Are you willing an advantage together into existence, David?
Yes. Yeah. I actually have an idol right here, so.
So let's take some bets right now. Will we see the mutant advantage used?
I don't think so.
Lydia's a no. David?
I don't think so.
Okay. How many idols will we see used in a hypothetical swap or before merge?
Ooh, let's see. I would say 2.
Lydia?
I'm gonna say 1 before merge. I think somebody's gonna want to keep it for the later game.
So you think that we're gonna have 1 played or 2 played then?
Probably 1 played before merge.
I'll do this. I'll say it's 1 played and it's Austin. He plays his idol.
See, I think Austin's gonna hold on to his idol.
Really?
I think that Brayden and Brandon will play theirs.
I'm hoping. I would be down for a cunning Austin strategy. Like if he and Taylor somehow, or let's say it's like him, Taylor, Kevin all swap together, like and like they play, and Austin plays up the woe is me. They were coming for the. Well, maybe what if even Austin says, I played my idol, I used it last round, and he gets his whole tribe to buy in this lie with him just to kind of make people feel comfortable, believe he doesn't have the idol anymore. I would love to see him do that.
I mean, that would be really fun to see. I'm down for that too. I feel like the tricky part with it is Taylor has she's safe next round, right? If they swap now.
Yeah.
So that kind of gives that side ahead like an advantage already. And then let's say she swaps with Brayden. He is an idol. All they need is, one more person, and that would be a hard group to get out because you have to basically guess that third person, and then we see Brayden use that idol. He's safe. I could also see him maybe using it on an ally. So I'm just thinking of different scenarios here. Austin, I feel like he's gonna like threaten to use it and not use it. He'll play up that, and they'll be afraid to vote him, especially if Taylor's playing with him on the same tribe. I don't think they'll vote for him because he has an idol. And then we see, like I said, I don't really know Brandon's gameplay yet.
Yeah, like depending on a swap or not, I don't think Brandon would need to play his idol where he is right now, because it seems like he's like good in the majority on that tribe.
Okay.
Hypothetically, let's say there's not a swap. Who's in danger on both these two tribes?
From what I'm gathering, Andrew seems like he feels like he's on the outs. I don't know if that's true or not, but in the confessional I saw, he said that. Did you pick up on that as well?
Yeah, okay. I don't know that that's really true. I think they would go Kevin over him, but it seems like to me like probably Will and Kevin. Maybe even Andrew. You're right.
I think Taylor needs Andrew along as a shield as much as possible.
I agree with that.
I think unfortunately Taylor needs to actively seek out shields, and Andrew's enough of a physical player. Even though these survivor challenges, I don't say like being hugely physical is a bonus at times. I don't know.
Who's gonna take a swing at Taylor? I see Jamie doing it.
My other option would be Brayden L. I think he'll take a swing at some point.
Definitely, if they end up on the same tribe or make it to merge, I could see that too.
Blue tribe, honestly, I can't really comment on the dynamics. I don't think we have a good sense of them. Do y'all have a name you want to throw out for person in trouble most?
How's Jenny now that Stevie's gone, and I feel like she had to fight her way back a little bit.
She survived the vote.
She survived the vote.
Did everyone vote for David?
I think it might have been like a 5-2. I wasn't super paying attention. Once I saw 4 David votes, I'm like, oh.
Okay.
Someone voted with David, maybe. So they would most likely be next.
Yeah.
I see Joanna being dragged along to the end. That's what my prediction with Joanna.
Hope not.
It didn't seem like she was faring well in the touchy subjects.
Yeah. But come like a swap, whoever she's with is going to need her. And then come merge, she's not a threat. So she could become the TSL of season 6. Go to the final 2 and, not win.
Barely.
Barely, yeah. We'll see. Otherwise, I don't know her positioning. I feel like she's kind of playing a very low-key game.
I don't really have any other questions to talk about. I think we've kind of exhausted whatever content we have so far. I'm sure we'll all go and then I'm going to go and rewatch the votes. I can fill all the spreadsheets, the wiki, etc. What are a couple players that you're excited to see play out in these next couple of days?
I really enjoyed watching Jenny her last season. So I'm really curious to see how she changes her game this season, or if she does. And because she kind of was put on the bottom with the Stevie vote, it'd be fun to watch her evolve into some other player. I really like Jamie's gameplay so far. So I'm excited to see him play. Who else? Lydia, you can talk over me too while I'm thinking.
Yeah, on the blue tribe, like I'm really enjoying Jessica. I feel like
Jessica
she's
too.
exciting to watch. And well, on the red, obviously, I'm rooting for William. But I'm interested to see how that kind of maybe trio of Taylor, Jamie, and Brayden, like which direction they go. Like that's what I'm waiting to see.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, I like Jen. I mean, because I was a fan of her last season, so I'm excited to see how she plays this season. Especially she no longer has the target being the only female in the cast. I think that's going to really open things up for her,
Right.
especially her end game.
Yeah.
Brayden L, I want to see him do some damage this game. I don't think he'll win. Maybe he will. But I'm excited to see him take a swing at something at some point.
I see him playing a big game.
Yes.
Whatever
Successful.
way that may be.
We'll see, but he'll play something big.
Yes.
You know, Jamie has been very interesting to listen to. I really want to see, strangely, I want to see Kevin do well. Watching him last season was very gut-wrenching, and we haven't gotten very much Kevin content yet. But I'm very curious to see what he will do now that seems like he has it. He's in the swap, and hopefully he'll get to merge. And I'm excited to see what he'll bring.
Okay. Yeah, we haven't really seen too much from him yet. I'm interested to see if there is a swap. Who gets swap screwed? The poor Trevor's out there. But yeah, Steven, I have a little game. Are you up for it?
I'm game. Let's play.
Okay. I name a player from this season, and you say who you think it is from our season. Compare them.
Okay.
Okay. Jess.
So let's see.
Lydia, if you watched our live feeds, you can participate too.
I'm going to compare her to you as of right now, because I think you are the center of your tribe and really kind of like really had strong ability to kind of dictate the flow, especially in your pre-merge tribe. And I see her having that same position right now.
Okay. David.
You, of course, know. So let me think of a second.
Comes back. I mean,
I don't feel like I got a super strong sense of David. I'm gonna put him with the Kevin from our season, right?
Okay, that's fair. How about Jamie?
Super strong social game. It might be the TSL.
Okay, then who's TSL?
TSL could be the Rachel in a sense that it's just this massive target, and maybe TSL will do what Rachel did, where Rachel got to the end, but it still was shocked by, and maybe that's what's going to happen because Rachel was the target at merge onwards. So maybe TSL will be able to channel that Rachel Lee Johnson energy into a victory.
Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to think of who I would compare. See, Rachel had a very physical game, though.
TSL won the final immunity of our season.
That's true. She did.
And it was a physical challenge.
It was physical, yes. The Idol Queen, Rachel. Yeah. Okay. I mean, I could keep going, but this game is a...
No, this is interesting. Lydia, any last thoughts or anything? Anything you want to say? Shout out to Ella or anything?
No, I'm good.
David, Lydia, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. Thank you especially because we kind of hopscotched through our fourth travel council together. But I'm looking forward to the touching base in the season more with both of you, and we'll see whose predictions pan out.
Yes, thanks
for having us, Steven. And thank you, Jaira, for another great season.
Yeah, Jaira, Ola Production, thank you for your work right there in Canada. For everyone who's tuning in, Survivor BC will continue live streaming on Facebook this Friday. Stay tuned with live reality games. We will bring you more content. And check out the Survivor BC, the Golden Age page for more information. Hey, have a good night, y'all.
Good night.